nuclear is the largest source of, if you consider it clean energy in the United States, it's definitely the largest source of carbon-free power, and it produces as much carbon-free power as all other sources combined. So hydro, wind, solar is as much as nuclear. If you look globally, nuclear is number 2, and for certain countries, it's a really large portion of their grid. Some of the lowest carbon countries in the world are low carbon because they have nuclear-powered grids. I think if you look at how public opinion has been changing, there's one thing that I think that's really stark. There's a generational divide. I think that the older generations, particularly especially in the environmental communities that were fighting nuclear plants, like in picketing them, are still very staunchly opposed to nuclear power plants. I think the younger generations, because we understand the risks of climate change, we understand that nuclear can be a part of that solution, and we really do prioritize that over any sort of concerns that I don't think are particularly well-founded for nuclear in the modern era. The other thing that I think is important is that there's a divide between existing nuclear power plants and new or advanced nuclear power plants. And when you see problems in nuclear at the kind of large scale, it's because there's actually utility problems that's just inherent in having any sort of large power company. When we're looking at advanced reactors, it's really different because they're a lot smaller. We're trying new business models like what Caroline was talking about. The reason that we're having this conversation is because nuclear technology can serve something like Bitcoin for the first time. An Oklo microreactor can serve a small community, can serve a data center. And so that is really kind of changing the conversation. And I think that a lot of customers are interested in that. One thing I think is also really interesting is there's regional divides. And so like New England right now will not be building a new nuclear power plant anytime soon. It's a pretty staunch political opposition. But the one part of the country we don't have a lot of nuclear power in, the US West, is very interested. And Wyoming's really struggling right now because of the death of coal. Coal is a large part of the state economy. And so they're looking at building a nuclear power plant to replace a coal plant. And they're looking at this from a community perspective of, hey, we're really worried about the energy transition. We're going to be losing our jobs, our economy. Nuclear can be a solution for us. And so I think you're starting to see isolated pockets that are growing into larger and larger areas of support.